Introduction. Let's face what we often avoid. Welcome back, dear friend. Today, I want to speak about something that many experience quietly and carry alone with feelings of shame and worry. The question came from someone struggling with addiction, specifically pornography and masturbation. These are common challenges, yet they are rarely discussed openly, especially within spiritual circles. But here, you are safe. We are not here to judge, but to understand. Addiction does not mean you are broken or morally weak. It simply shows how the mind clings to comfort when it feels uncertain or in pain. You are not failing because you struggle. You are human. The Buddha teaches that suffering arises not from the experience itself, but from how you relate to it. When you see clearly what is happening without fear or judgment, you create space for healing. So let us gently explore how addiction forms and how it can be transformed, not by force, but through wisdom, awareness, and compassion. The real cause of addiction: seeing clearly. Many people believe addiction is something evil to be cut out or destroyed. But from the Buddhist view, the problem is not the behavior, it is misunderstanding. Imagine mistaking a mirage for a lake. You chase it desperately, thinking it will quench your thirst. But no matter how far you run, the water never arrives. This is how desire works. You believe the object of your craving, whether it is pornography, a cigarette, or any habit, will solve your discomfort. But the comfort is temporary, and once it fades, the thirst returns. The Buddha's teaching on dependent origination begins with ignorance, confusion about what is real. You attach because you do not see clearly. Once you observe your experience as it is, without judgment, the attachment begins to loosen. This is not theory. It is something you can explore in real time. Awareness is like shining a lantern in a dark room. You discover there is nothing dangerous hiding there. A story from everyday life. I once spoke with a man who shared that his evenings were swallowed by scrolling through content online. He would tell himself, just one more video, just one more moment of comfort. But each time, the relief was fleeting. One day, after weeks of guilt and frustration, he sat quietly and simply said, "I want comfort. I feel alone. I feel restless." He did not try to push the feeling away. He sat with it. After a few minutes, the urgency dissolved. He realized the desire to escape had softened, like a wave losing force as it rolled onto the shore. This simple act of naming the feeling allowed him to step out of the cycle, not because he stopped craving, but because he began to see craving for what it was. A passing sensation, not a command. How desire forms: a simple pattern. The process of addiction often follows 3 steps, as natural as breathing. Number 1, the trigger, something you see, hear, or think about. Number 2, the sensation, the pleasant feeling that follows. Number 3, the urge, the pull to repeat the experience. It is like planting seeds in a garden. Each time you water the same patch, weeds of habit sprout more densely. For example, seeing an advertisement or an image may trigger a small sensation, perhaps a moment of excitement or comfort. Over time, your brain links the object to the sensation and starts to expect it before the experience even begins. Science calls this conditioning. Repeating the cycle wires the brain's reward system to seek the same experience again and again. But once you understand this process, you are no longer powerless. You can start observing the triggers and sensations without letting them take control. Why we attach: memory, conditioning, and belief. You are not born craving pornography or masturbation. Children see the world without attachment. So how do habits form? Through repeated experiences and messages from society. As you pass through puberty, you are exposed to new sensations and ideas about pleasure, comfort, and connection. Over time, your mind learns to associate certain images or behaviors with temporary relief. You are not flawed, you are conditioned. This understanding helps dissolve shame. You learn to see that habits are patterns, not moral failings. Just as you can learn to form unhealthy habits, you can also learn to unwind them. A new way to see: observing without judging. Let us explore how you can see more clearly. Take something ordinary, hair, for example. When you look closely, hair is simply strands growing from the scalp, sometimes oily, sometimes tangled, collecting sweat and dust. Beautiful? Maybe, by habit. But in truth, it is ordinary. Or teeth, yellowed, sometimes cracked, coated with residue from food. You may imagine them to be perfect, but in reality, they are just functional. Skin, nails, scars, they are all ordinary aspects of the body. None of them is inherently beautiful or ugly, they simply are. When you start observing these details, the mind's fantasy of beauty starts to dissolve. This practice can be done gently, perhaps repeating the name of each part. Hair, hair. Teeth, teeth. This helps train the mind to see what is rather than what it imagines. Eventually, you will notice that beauty and ugliness are stories you tell yourself, not truths. The power of seeing experience itself. Even more deeply, you can practice observing sensations directly. When light enters your eyes, it is simply seeing, not a beautiful face or undesirable body. It is a raw experience. Or when you feel heat or coolness on your skin, or a thought arises, just observe it as sensation, thinking, without attaching meaning. This way of observing experience, free from labels, is one of the most powerful tools in meditation. It allows you to break free from automatic reactions and see craving for what it is, a passing state. A quote to reflect on. The Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." This is not a warning, it is an invitation. When you stop clinging to craving, you do not lose yourself. You find freedom from unnecessary suffering. Understanding pleasure, a deeper look. Pleasure itself is not harmful. The mistake lies in how you interpret it. If you ask, what good is this sensation, really? You may find the answer is not as clear as you thought. You say it is good because it feels nice, but that is a circular argument. Pleasure does not fix loneliness or anxiety, it only covers it briefly. This understanding is liberating. It means you do not have to fear pleasure, nor feel guilty about it. You can simply watch it as it comes and goes without chasing or suppressing it. Desire as stress. It may surprise you to realize that desire itself is a form of tension. When you feel restless, it is not because the world is broken, it is because your mind is struggling to find relief. The craving creates a knot in the mind. Trying to fight it only tightens the knot. When you meet the desire with patience and kindness, the tension relaxes. You start to see that wanting something intensely is not a sign of weakness. It is simply the mind's way of searching for comfort. Seeing beyond the human experience. Many believe that bodily pleasure is the highest form of joy. But when you look closely, you will see that it is fleeting. The human body is temporary, vulnerable, and imperfect. No matter how beautiful or pleasurable it seems, it changes, decays, and disappears. From this view, clinging to pleasure keeps us trapped in cycles of dissatisfaction. But Buddhism offers another way. It invites you to see beyond temporary highs and open to deeper wisdom, compassion, and peace. A story of overcoming. A young man once came to me with tears in his eyes. He confessed that he felt enslaved by his habit, convinced he was destroying his life. I told him gently, "You are not destroying anything. You are struggling to find comfort. Let us meet it with curiosity rather than fear." He began observing the urges, naming them, breathing with them, and slowly, over time, his relationship to the habit shifted. The compulsion lessened, and his heart opened again to connection with others. Healing is not instant, but when you meet your suffering with patience, clarity, and kindness, transformation becomes possible. Reflection and practice. Let us end with a few practices to help you work with craving gently. 1. Naming the experience. When you feel the urge arise, pause. Whisper in your mind, "Seeing, seeing," or "Thinking, thinking." Just acknowledge what is happening. 2. Observing the body. Choose a body part like hair, skin, or teeth. Look at it without judgment and describe it factually. Repeat its name softly, like a mantra, hair, hair. Observe how the mind's attachment softens. 3. Journaling exercise. Write about a time when craving arose. Ask yourself, what triggered it? How did it feel in my body? Did I respond with guilt or kindness? End the entry with this statement: I meet this moment with awareness and compassion. Closing. You are not alone in this journey. Addiction is a common human experience, one that can be gently transformed with understanding. Let your compassion for yourself be as deep as your desire for change. Step by step, breath by breath, you can walk toward freedom, not by force, but by seeing clearly and embracing your humanity with love. May you be patient with yourself, and may wisdom light your path.